From TMP to TTNG, for sure the cure and those tired meme jeans. Hella Kinsella and the promise ring. Sunny day, real estate and rights this spring. Prince Twinkle Daddies help keep the dream alive. I constantly thank God for Algernon and Remo Christie Front Drive. Mineral, Snowing, High Tide Hotelier and more. Rio Limo only consists of the DC emotive hardcore. But you gotta admit, Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. You gotta admit that Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. Have you heard the tired and disavowed lonely word? Have you heard the disavowed and lonely word? Have you heard the lonely disavowed word? Have you heard the tired and lonely disavowed word? That's the best when you get it.
Welcome to episode 26 of the E Word. This is Kyle. Over there, who just popped open a yerb, is Ellie.
What's up?
How's your yerb?
It's good. It's enlightenment. Normally I drink either enlightenment or revelberry, but I've been on a bit of an enlightenment kick, so I'm enjoying it.
All right, Ellie, we have 3 people on the pod with us. 2 of them come to us via chillwavve, and 1 of them comes to us via the band Closure. We have Collins from Closure. How are you doing, Collins? You're in Syracuse?
Yeah, I'm out in Syracuse right now. I always am. That's where I live. So.
And we have 1 return guest. That would be Ben. Ben, you're with chillwavve over in DC, correct?
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore actually, but that was a development in the past year since I was on last time. Also, Enlightenment is the best flavor.
Mm.
And then we have Robert. Robert, I don't know where you are.
Austin, Texas.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, we've hung out at shows before.
Also, Enlightenment's the best. Revelberry kind of sucks, honestly. No, I'm thinking of Bluephoria. I'm sure.
Yeah, Bluephoria is the one that. Well, Bluephoria is like hit or miss for me, honestly. Sometimes I'm in the mood, and then other times it just tastes like garbage.
It tastes like chemically to me.
What about orange?
I don't like citrus.
There was this gas station I would go to that was like orange juice mixed with yerba mate, and it was like the best thing ever. Pulpy orange juice with yerba mate added into it.
This wasn't
really good, actually.
No, it also had honey pollen in it. You know how people like to put honey pollen into shit. It was pretty awesome.
Buc-ee's is one of those like gas stations that kind of eludes me because I'm from Pennsylvania, where like most of our fine dining is done in gas stations between Sheetz and Wawa. So like I've always been curious about Buc-ee's.
Honestly, I'm pretty jealous because the food at Buc-ee's isn't anything like I've never been to Sheetz or Wawa, but just how it's described, Buc-ee's is pretty like subpar in that regard. I mean, they got like pulled pork sandwiches and the usual yeehaw shit, but it's not like.
Wawa has pretty good sandwiches, if I remember correctly.
I like Wawa hoagies.
I've never been to Wawa or Sheetz actually, and I lived like in the South for a while, and just never did it for some reason.
Wawa and Sheetz are in South. They're more like.
They're south to him.
Oh, yeah. Right, because you're upstate New York. You're in fucking Earth Crisis hometown.
Literally, yeah. Actually, I'm like one of my really good friends is Charlie Beekner. His dad is like, the guy, Carl. So yeah, he actually does a lot of. He actually did the shirt that I sent you guys in the group chat. The like the one we got in Japanese with the Cowboy Bebop.
The Cowboy Bebop.
That's
one.
sick.
Yeah. So, Charlie. So like the lead singer of Earth Crisis' kid did that for us. He's a good dude.
So you've met Carl, right? Like know. He's a weird fucking dude.
Carl's super nice, man. Like
he's really nice, but he's such a weirdo. Yeah.
They're like a very interesting family. They're super nice people, and I met him at. There's this thing called the Sammys. It's like a Syracuse Music Award thing. It's just the dumbest fucking thing on the planet, and I went when one of my old like hardcore punk bands was up for like best metal because that's all they have. If your band uses power chords, you're like up for the metal award. I met him there. I didn't know who he was, and he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you, man. I'm Carl." I'm like, "Oh, sick, dude. Like, what band are you in?" And he's like, "Earth Crisis." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man." He's like, "You guys are definitely gonna win." And I was like, "I don't think we're gonna win." And neither of us won. Like, Earth Crisis didn't fucking win Best Metal. Like,
Who won?
Dude, some guy, like, their lead singer died of a heroin overdose, like, halfway into recording, so they won. That was it.
Halfway into recording the Sammys?
Like
No.
Like during the show?
Like,
You just
recording
shot
the
up
record.
in the
They're, like,
bathroom?
in the middle of the record. So, like, they'd finished, like, half of it, and they had to get another guy to come in, like, honestly, like, it was so long ago that I don't even remember what the band was called. That was probably back in, like, 2011 or 2012.
One thing new to this episode I want to do is do our plugs at the top of the episode, because we have been told by basically you three that we suck at ending episodes lately. So if everyone wants to talk about or wants to plug anything, like your social media, do that stuff now.
I mean, I could probably just hit everybody. I think Chillwave is just at Chillwave with 2 V's on Twitter. The YouTube channel obviously is it's always been the same. Well, I guess it was started a little bit differently, but it's Chillwave. Closure, we're on Facebook. I think it's just Closure Emo. I'm not actually positive.
Yeah, it is.
It's closure.emo, I believe. But if you just type in closure with a period at the end. And then the Instagram is closure.emo. And then the Twitter, for some reason, is just closure emo. I don't know what the fuck. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking. It should all be the same, but it's not. But, yeah, I think that's everything. We use Instagram probably the most out of anything. I just kind of, like, bash Donald Trump on Twitter under the closure page, which I should probably, like, do on my personal one, but that's how it goes.
All right. So yeah, Chillwave. My personal is at Alpaca Neb. Alpaca like the animal, Neb. Also, I'm in a band called Sweet Peach now, out of Maryland. So
Ooh, Sweet Peach.
At Sweet Peach MD. I always like Maryland bands that put MD at the end of their name because it makes them sound like doctors.
That's
Dr. Peach.
Yeah, I had one that was I had a Bandcamp page that never really went anywhere that was Dude Love, so it was just Dude Love MD. I thought that was entertaining.
Yeah, at Chillwave with 2 V's. We just plugged the same Twitter account 3 times in a row. But
I didn't plug Chillwave.
Oh, you didn't. My personal is at DeMaio Shit Show, like the Marietta song. No Cinco though, just DeMaio Shit Show.
That's a good Twitter handle.
It is.
I still think Kyle has the best Twitter handle out of all of us.
What is it? Is 1-800 Kyle?
1-800 hell no.
The little
Best
ugly
Little
man.
Ugly Mane song.
Yeah.
Absolute best.
God, that song.
Slick
Whenever
Rick is the best Little Ugly Mane song, I think.
Whenever I sing
is.
it, I feel so bad. I'm just like, oh, holy shit.
I feel dirty rapping Lil Ugly Mane. Like, even in the car by myself, I feel like there's something wrong with me.
I mean, I've always felt like Mr. Thug Isolation is like a character. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like a satirical record, you know?
Even like Oblivion Access wasn't like that kind of like character kind of rap.
I thought he quit
Yeah.
rapping one time because no one was taking it seriously, though.
Yeah, and then he came back as Bedwetter.
Yeah.
And
I
now
like
he's
that
doing,
Bedwetter record.
he's doing Little Ugly Man again. He's performing live this Friday. Yeah,
I know.
2 days.
What
And,
time
I
is
missed
it?
it.
I'm missing it. I think he goes on at 4.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to the Thursday one, which I'll talk about later. I'll talk about that one during the What Have You Been Listening To?
The official hardcore section.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
is that like Thrasher showcase or whatever?
The Thrasher Vans Showcase. Yeah, Candy, Fury, Zabalba, and Youth of Today.
That's
All in a row,
absurd.
basically. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's blast through these. You guys were talking about my handle, which is 1-800-2_ hell no on Twitter. The E Word is on Twitter at the E Word Podcast. We're on Instagram at the E Word Podcast. And the only thing that's different is the Gmail account, which is the ewordpod@gmail.com. Ellie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at You Don't Need Maps, Tumblr, you don't need maps.tumblr.com, Instagram, You Don't Need Maps, even though I never post there. You can find my writing on No Echo.
So follow up. It's been 3 episodes or so since we've came out that we actually talked about shit on was the Elliot one, which was episode 23. Episode 24 was the Ian Cohen podcast that came out. That one did really well, but of course the one that came after that was probably the biggest one that we've done in general, which is the Snowing podcast.
Yeah,
that was the Decade Under the Influence kickoff with the record of 2010, which it was huge. I mean, we fucking made it onto Snowing's Facebook page, and that's ridiculous.
I would like to personally thank you for inviting the three of us after Ian Cohen and Snowing back to back. I feel
well. We needed a cool down. I
appreciate.
You can't have people getting too excited all the time.
I got to stagger it a little better.
Damn, that was like a sneak diss.
Yeah, that was pretty good
for sure.
That's fuck it. We'll just have Chillwavve on.
Yeah.
Just too busy.
Yeah, we gotta edit that out because we don't want anyone knowing Chillwavve's true identity.
Oh
He's
shit!
not real.
I wanted the first bleep.
I don't think he exists.
Just like the moon.
Can you just refer to him as boss from now on?
The boss.
Boss man.
Yeah, boss man. Episode 24 with Ian Cohen is great. That really turned out well. I think the biggest feedback we got from that was the American Football Nightcore that I put in the podcast.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I was impressed.
And then Snowing, just tons of people just asking how the fuck we pulled it off.
Yeah, how did you ask them? Did you just hit them up?
No, we hit up Keith, who put out the record via Count Your Lucky Stars, and he's like, why don't you ask Snowing? It's like, because we don't fucking know Snowing. And he's like, all right, hold on. And he's like, they're down. And then we got.
He was like, I know Snowing.
That's sick as fuck. Oh, you don't know Snowing? Oh, okay, I got it.
Well, cool. Let's start this one off with what we've been listening to.
Let's have Colin start it off.
All right, let's pull up the old Spotify here. Top of my head right now, a lot of Arrows in Her. I don't know why, but I just came back to they had that one EP. It tired me all the same. That's the one I've been listening to a ton. I've been listening to, believe it or not, like I love My Chem, but I hadn't listened to them for a while. I've been getting into a ton of My Chemical Romance again lately.
I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah, like Owen. I've been giving. I listened to Owen a little bit, but I started listening to Owen a little more. Super Tight. I think that's really it. I've been kind of cycling between those three like records. Arrows and Her. I've been like, there's a lot of influence in the new Closure stuff. I think that's like Arrows and Her kind of inspired. So yeah, that's what I've been checking out.
Ben.
Okay, so I've been trying to get into more hardcore recently. I hesitated on that because I'm gonna get roasted no matter what, even though Ellie gave me the recommendations. That Left Behind record for sure, which was personally from Ellie. I listened to Bust Down, which is like a scramsy hardcore kind of project from Maryland with such amazing song titles as Truck Nuts and Richard Spencer Fuckboy.
Nice.
It's a really great album, and of course Shin Guard 2020. That is currently, I think, my album of the year. It just goes absurdly hard, and I know everybody had something to say about it.
Oh, if I can interject, I also got the William Bonney vinyl like package. It finally came.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so I've been fucking jamming that hard. William Bonney is, in my opinion, the GOAT. So anyway,
That's a whack take.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's
pretty damn good.
I have firmed up on the stance that the remaster sucks.
Oh, I don't know.
Nah, the remaster sounds pretty damn good.
You can really tell how fake the drums sound, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I pointed out, I guess.
It sounds like they tried to shine a turd though. Like it didn't sound good, and I think it just made more. I just think that like they like tried to make it sound like glossy when it couldn't sound glossy. Period.
Yeah, preferred it when Jack's vocals were buried. Like, I think not that they're bad, but I think that like added to the quote unquote mystique of the band more. You know,
vocals being forward, I think like just does that. Like I don't think vocals being forward adds much to most bands.
Honestly, my hot take is a lot of emo bands are better off with buried vocals.
Yeah, I think they're better used as an instrument in the emo genre, to be honest.
They're like super, especially like in the closure mix, like very very like buried, especially in the first EP. It's like I find it to sound a little better. It's definitely but it's hard to like it's hard for some people to mix like that, especially if you're not used to mixing emo shit. Like all the guys that produced our records like in the past have like been like, I don't even know what the fuck emo is. Is it like pop punk? And we're like, sure, and they mix it like a pop punk record.
Oof.
Yeah.
I think the way to do it is record everything into one mic in your parents' basement.
Okay.
I mean, that's how Gross October was recorded.
Yeah. Remember when I shouted out the band that like recorded literally with a webcam and a dictaphone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Screamo
I
band.
remember that.
Yeah, they used to be called Unable to Fully Embrace This Happiness, but now they are known as Echelons. So
That's such a downgrade.
Yeah, that sounds
I
like
know.
a gent band or something. Like
I
they're like
know.
their EP is called like Isosceles Triangles or some shit like that. Like
Speaking of isosceles triangles, did y'all ever listen to Head Cold?
yes,
I played. I think
Oh yeah.
did I play with them? That sounds really familiar.
Oh, they're from Arkansas.
Yeah, they sound like Scrams mixed with like '90s alt rock. I think.
That release was super good. I was a fan.
Yeah.
Who else is
Yeah.
listening to stuff?
It's Robert. Robert, you're up.
All right, let me pull up this last FM. You know, well, y'all were talking about doing the like decade under the influence and that stuff, so that made me go back and listen to some like Everyone Everywhere, Marietta, Snowing, Algernon. I've been listening to a lot of that.
Yes.
A lot of the newer stuff that's come out recently, like been jamming Nope's EP still that came out last year. Forests, I really like the Good Sleepy album a lot. Just kind of twinkly emo stuff. And like Ben, I've also been getting into hardcore more recently. Modern Life is War, Counterparts, Shed by Title Fight, which I hadn't listened to until this year. So yeah, I'm experiencing Title Fight for the first time, so that's pretty sweet. Alexis on Fire.
Oh, dude, yes.
I got shit to say about all this stuff because like most of it is stuff I recommended to Robert.
That's true. Yeah.
This is what happens when we all talk on a daily basis.
But I was
Yeah,
just,
really.
it's groundbreaking for me because I'm pretty sure I've said multiple times, like, I don't like hardcore.
Whoa, dude, that's a hot take.
But now my number one in the past month is Modern Life is War, followed by Counterparts.
That's so sick. I feel like, you know, when like you see your child walk for the first time, that's how proud I am.
Are you a proud hardcore parent?
Mhm.
I'm still not into easycore though.
Ah, come on.
Is anybody actually into easycore?
I think
Yes, I
I think
am.
it's an ironic.
Really? I thought it was.
I'm-
I thought it was like an ironic like.
No, I definitely non-ironically like a lot of easycore. I mean, the bad stuff is like so bad that I can forgive you for not like being willing to venture into the genre at all, but the good stuff is so fucking good.
Okay, so you know that album Mutiny by Set Your Goals?
Yeah.
Is that easycore?
Yes.
Oh, well, I like that album.
Yeah.
See, I
I
just
mean,
hang out with Ryland and Liam too much, so I just get it by proxy.
I think you
and
could
That made me like it.
you could kind of argue that like Set Your Goals invented easycore. I think because like Goonies Never Say Die. I think that's probably like the first easycore riff.
All right, we got an hour and a
That's a
half.
great riff. Shit.
You want to go down the easycore rabbit hole, or?
Yeah, Kyle, go.
All right, because of Pat Flynn, I've been listening to the band Battery. I like that a lot. I've been listening to Diva Sweetly. That album finally clicked with me, and it's really fucking good. That's that Pictures of Vernon new band. Listen to Flight Patterns because I might be booking a show for them.
I love Flight Patterns.
They're good.
Incredible.
Wait, you're booking a show for them?
Yeah,
Are they coming back?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
But Inclination, love the new EP. Listened to the band for the first time last week, and then I got a new release yesterday. Tight. I saw Lil Peep, or I saw Wicca Phase, so I've been listening
Ow.
to Wicca Phase. this week.
Fucking necromancer.
Wicca Phase. You don't need to see Wicca Phase live.
No.
I saw that video on your Instagram, and all I was thinking was like, this is just a guy with a DJ. Like, this is not what I expected, but it's also everything I expected.
Yeah, I mean, the people that make fun of emo trap being performed live are completely accurate when it's just someone roaming around the stage with their head down moaning for like an hour. That's literally what it is.
I like Wicker Face too, and just I
didn't
don't wanna
actually
see him
like
live.
Yeah, I can't get into it.
The
I
new
love
one
the
is
album.
great. Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
old stuff is great though. 93 Feet of Smoke is actually a really good live emo trap artist, for the record.
93 feet of smoke.
I'll
Yeah.
check that out.
I'll check.
Um,
I don't
That's
like
just,
emo trap.
That might just be because he performs with his shirt off, and I really like twinks. So
The new Nice EP is really good. Never
Oh,
better.
that's so good.
I need to check that out still.
Oh, it's super good. It's just a breeze to listen to as well. And then Shin Guard 2020 album of the year so far for quarter one, and that's it.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
all right, like y'all already touched on a lot of the stuff I was going to talk about, like Shin Guard, which is amazing, and Title Fight. And I know I said before on this podcast, like anyone whose favorite Title Fight album is Floral Green is a fucking coward.
Shed is kind of better.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to go on record and clarify that I don't think Title Fight did anything that was less than great. Like, I really love everything that band ever did, and I'm super excited because they're supposed to have something coming out this spring, according to.
No.
But yeah.
That's really okay. I like to let the people, and their reaction is like, no, like
Yeah,
nobody
no,
believes it.
It's got to be fucking happening. Help us, Title Fight. You're our only hope. MCR. Okay, Kyle can confirm this. I was like unable to listen to anything except for My Chemical Romance for like 9 days straight. Like unable to listen to or talk about anything besides that.
Happens. Like that happens a lot.
Yeah. I fell real fucking deep into the rabbit hole, watched like a shit ton of like old school live performances. I think it's wild they were at fucking Hellfest 2003.
Dude,
Like
that was
that's
in Syracuse.
yeah, that's
my
hardcore.
favorite story.
That's hardcore cred right fucking there.
I think Ellie, I think you are the reason that I'm on the kick right now because I saw your Facebook post. You shared that video of Vampires Will Never Hurt You.
Yeah,
And I
I
was
was
like,
real deep
oh.
in that kick already.
Yeah.
What Kyle mentioned, the Inclination EP, so fucking sick. Like that band is easily better than Knocked Loose, and I like Knocked Loose a lot.
I just listened to that EP in my car driving the way home. It was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I did the same on the way to work, and I almost ran somebody off the road.
Yeah, I don't know how to, like, I don't know anything about hardcore, so I don't know how to talk about it. But you know when they do that, like, squealing with the guitar?
Yeah, it's called a panic chord.
That shit is so sick.
I
Or
love
spooky
that
note.
you just learned what a panic chord was. Like that's like I love that. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, aside from that, just like listen to all the stuff to get pumped for that Vans Thrasher showcase tomorrow with Fury, Candy, Sabalba, and fucking Youth of Today. I really wish it were Gorilla Biscuits playing instead, though. Like, obviously, I love Youth of Today, but Gorilla Biscuits are playing a show fucking Friday with Candy in Dallas, so they could have easily done this, but you know, life and shit. All right, and that's it for me. Let's go. Let's move on. Kyle, did you want to do the quick hits first?
Well, I think we're gonna talk about Chillwave and Closure first. Okay, so Chillwave. Where do we start with Chillwave? Y'all been doing this for a while on YouTube. What's the history there?
So the chronology, I'll give you the boss's timeline. So
The boss is way too formal of a name.
the boss, he started in the 2000. I don't remember the exact date, but I think like mid 2000s, late 2000s, when YouTube was kind of becoming a thing. And he's basically said he was just trying to share music with people, like his friends and stuff. So he would upload like whatever. I mean, it might have been some DIY stuff, but it was also other things as well. I think his original account was Bottles Up. YouTube changes their policies and they start copyright striking things. So Bottles Up actually got closed down because of copyright infringement, all that stuff. So from that point on, when he started Chillwave, he was trying to only upload stuff he actually could get permission for. And so that's kind of how it started trending towards some DIY stuff. And he's just been at it, uploading a whole bunch of stuff for a while. He uploaded Free Throws first EP, the Mom Jeans and Grad Life split, a Div album, which a lot of people listen to. I think it has
Dive.
That's the top played ones.
Dive, Div,
DII or DIIV.
DIIV. Is it not
Dive.
Div?
No, it's Dive.
Dive. All right, edit that out.
That's the top played video on the channel, I think. is
Yeah,
the
that's-
Dive album.
Wait, let me see how many views that one has. So yeah, Chillwave. He uploaded that 2016. It's got 1 million views.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
And I
so
think Mom Jeans and Grad Life is like right after that.
yeah, so he's in Free Throw. Then he's kind of built this platform up. Anyways, I met the boss on that on the Discord, right? And I had initially asked him, because I guess this other guy in that Discord, we spent a lot of time listening to like the most obscure shit you could find on Bandcamp, like just clicking through random stuff under the emo tag. Side note, a lot of it's really bad bedroom pop. But so I guess I'd offered the boss, Chillwave, if I could listen to some of the stuff he gets sent, submissions, and it kind of grew from there. Ben eventually ended up getting involved as the third intern.
That was
And,
almost an accident.
And then I guess, around that point, we kind of decided, like, what if we worked with bands more directly, and we kind of went past just being a YouTube channel. And so that's led us to, we put out a comp, the Chill Miss comp, if you remember that. Collins was on it with Closure and a bunch of other bands. We've done the comp, been trying to really get off the ground as more of a label and do music distribution. We're working on Closure's tape for their newest EP, and then we're going to see where it goes from there, but we haven't gotten the tapes yet, so that's kind of where we're at with it right now.
Let's not get started on that.
Yeah.
No,
If
no,
you start
please.
talking about the
Please.
tapes, you're going to have to bleep the entirety.
Everything.
Yeah.
Fun story about me becoming an intern at Chillwave. I kind of did it as a joke.
Oh, fuck.
So one night I was kind of drunk in my apartment, and I was talking on the Discord server, the same Discord server that Robert started in. And I was like, "Hey, Chillwave, I want to be president of Playlist. Make me an intern." And he was like, "Yeah." And I never made a single playlist.
Yeah, that's what
And then,
you're
like,
supposed
2 months
to.
later,
Oh,
2
so
months
this.
later, I asked him officially, like, actually to be an intern, and he was like, "Oh, I thought you already were."
That is extremely Chillwave.
Yeah.
Like, that is extremely on brand.
Yeah, honestly, like, I feel like he's always like, should we get some new interns? And I'm like, well, what's the point? I mean, I feel like everyone kind of is.
I'm a Chillwave intern.
It's
Chillwave intern. We're all
It's like-
Chillwave interns.
We're
That's how
actually
he builds
content
his-
creators.
oh, true.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody here is part of the Chillwave brand.
This will go on the channel.
According to the boss, he is now a member of Closure and a co-host of the E-Word, just because he uploads.
Yeah, I saw that tweet where he's like, "If I've uploaded your music, I'm technically part of your band."
I welcome it.
Has anyone ever met him?
I
person?
I have not met him. I have voice chatted with him on several occasions.
What does he sound like?
Like he sounds like his house smells bad.
I
Wait,
knew that was coming.
Just like
Does-
really high, just like really high pitched and nerdy.
does
Like,
anybody know what he looks like?
Like Mowgli.
I know that's
We've
like
seen
the
it. We've
joke.
seen a picture of his driver's license once. I don't even remember.
No, he cropped out himself. He cropped out the picture of himself just so we could like see his name.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced he's like a 12-year-old child who's really good at FIFA.
That's all he actually does outside of the YouTube channel is he works and he plays FIFA.
And he's like really good at it and like beats everyone from
That's
what
sick.
what he's told me. Like he just recklessly beats Brazilian kids playing FIFA.
Fuck. Beating a Brazilian at soccer. Holy shit.
I know that he has a dog.
I didn't even know that.
No, neither did I.
He like tweeted something like, "Haha, fuck you kids in the Midwest. I'm out here walking my dog in shorts."
Yeah, I remember that. No.
But then again, everything could just be like a strategic lie to make us
question him. Yeah.
He's been throwing us off the scent for like, what, 10 years now?
The first time I asked Chillwave where he was from, he said that he lived in fucking Norway.
What if Alex is Stab?
Oh my god.
That would be hilarious.
I feel like being like an internet enigma like that would be so sick. Everyone's just like, who is this person? And nobody knows. And you know. But you're the only one.
We don't really know, though.
I think that'd be tight as fuck.
I used to be an internet enigma. I used to like intentionally like make people confused about how old I was and shit. But I got over it because I'm not like 16 anymore.
You look like you're still 16.
Damn.
Thank you.
You could either, like, your picture's on there right now, and you could either be 30 years old or 16. Like, there's no in between.
That's literally like verbatim something someone has said to me before. Anyway, closure. Let's talk about closure.
Yeah, I mean, you want like just the story of closure, I guess?
Well, hold on.
No,
hold on.
I want closure.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I want to know. Okay, first,
sorry.
how do you know everyone in all these bands? Because we were talking in the chat how you basically have connects with a lot of people that are at the top right now.
Yeah, so basically, there's really not much emo in Syracuse, except for the bands that I'm in, and maybe possibly one I would consider maybe adjacent. And I think it was like 2015 or something. My friend from high school was like, yo, you would really like this band. They're called Meet Me in Montauk. They kind of sound like that emo stuff that you kind of dig. So I was like, okay, I'll check them out. Meet Me in Montauk is obviously Bart's old band, Bart being in Grad Life and Mom Jeans. And so I went on their Facebook. They were like, hey, we have a tour. We're going to go on a full US and we want everybody to show up. So I look for their closest New York date and I see that they have an Albany date, but there was nothing there. So I commented and I was like, hey, do you guys are you guys playing in Albany, or like, what's the deal? And they're like, we actually don't have an Albany date. We don't have anybody that we know in New York. So I book shows. My friend Pat, basically along with this guy named Eric, runs After Dark Promotions, which is like the main promotion thing in upstate. And so Pat and I were like, fuck it, let's book Meet Me in Montauk. So I hit them up. Bart hit me up on Facebook and he was like, yo, let's do this. So Montauk came through. 9 people came to the show. And when Montauk played, it was me, Liam, who plays bass in Closure, our friend John from high school, and like this one other guy that was in a band watching Meet Me in Montauk. So 4 people watched them play. And then they came back the next time and we were still tight. We were still talking and stuff. And a couple more people came. And then I think they finally came back a 3rd time and the room was actually packed. Like they kept, like, word of mouth kept spreading about Montauk. And then Bart was like, I think I saw Mom Jeans on a flyer with Grad Life, with Montauk way back. And I was like, yo, I'll check out this band Mom Jeans. And this was like right after their first record dropped, like right after Best Buds dropped, maybe like a day or 2. And I was like, holy shit, like this is tight. And I can see this like blowing up. So I hit up Bart and I was like, yo, dude, like, do you know these guys in Mom Jeans? And he's like, dude, I'm in Mom Jeans. And I was like, oh, fuck. So like we booked Mom Jeans, and then just from there, like we kept in touch. Bart and I, we talk, from time to time. He's been really busy, obviously. He introduced me to the dudes in MJ. Logan and I from Montauk still, talk on occasion. And I was chilling with them on their TMP tour, so I met those guys through them. They're on tour with Just Friends and Grad Life quite a bit. So by proxy, like Sam and I, are friends and whatnot. So that's kind of just how it was basically through Bart for the most part that I have met. And and I'm lucky enough to be friends with some of these people that I think are cool.
So tell us more
Yeah.
about Closure then.
Yeah. So basically, myself and Liam, I'll refer to him quite a bit because we've been like super tight since we were like 8. We
Liams.
say again.
There's too many Liams.
Hard agree.
Oh, okay, fair. So Liam from Closure, and I've been super tight. So we basically got into like emo and everything back in like 2014 or 2015, and so we've just kept trying to make bands. Like we were in like moving to Alaska. We were in, which is not camping Alaska, and it's not Alaska. We had no idea. We weren't like into the DIY scene. Like we didn't really know where to start. So like, I wanted to be called. I'm not gonna actually. You know what? I'm not gonna go there because of like shit. I wanted to be called Moving to Antarctica because of a certain record of the same name, but not anymore. So we were moving to Alaska. We were in Deerfield, and then we started Closure as a joke. Like this kid Noah, who obviously plays guitar in Closure, hit me up and was like, "Dude, you love emo. I love it. Here's all my like, listen to all these cool like tappy riffs that I have." And I was like, all right, yeah, these sound nice or whatever, like cool, but I'm in a bunch of other bands because I was in like 2 or 3 bands at the time. And he was like, we're going to jam on Friday. You should come. This kid named Jake Blake is going to be drumming for us. And like, I worked with Jake at Guitar Center when I worked at Guitar Center, and I thought he was like the coolest fucking dude. He like was super down to earth, really chill, like got his work done, was a really nice guy. And he was a great musician. So I was like, fuck it, I'll show up. So we initially were going to write a 3-song EP with Closure and then release it and break up and never play again. Like we weren't even going to play a show. And then we were asked to play a show like last year, like last April. We were like, fuck it, let's play it. We played it and we're like, oh shit, this is actually really fun. So it happened really fast. Like Closure, like our first rehearsal or practice or whatever you want to call it was like, I don't know why I said rehearsal. I don't fucking call them rehearsals. Our first practice was in like February or like maybe late January, and we released the record on like March like 25th or something like that. So it was like a super fast process, and now like we've been trying to like refine the sound and figure out where we want to go, but that's kind of the Closure story.
I just want to pop in and say the new stuff they're recording or working on sounds pretty tight.
Thanks, dude. Oh, actually, speaking of which, I think we're good to announce this, but Closure, Nope, and Good Sleepy are going to do a split, and we're going to release it in June and tour. I think we're doing like a week on that split, so that should be exciting. So I think this is going to be the first time that people hear about that because I don't think anybody's said anything yet.
Nope told me about that actually, and I was trying to like set that up before it actually happened, and I never got in contact with you, so Nope just did it themselves and kicked me out of the process.
That was such a weird, because I was talking with Collins about it. So there's like 4 layers of people to try to organize that.
It got too messy.
It was really weird because like I heard from one, I think Robert told me like, yo, like they want to do a split, and I was like, we'll see. And then like I heard somebody else wanted to do it, and then Nope hit me up by themselves, and I was like, okay, cool, this is tight. Also, this is a really funny like side thing that I thought was hilarious because there's not a lot of emo in Syracuse. Robert hit me up from his personal Facebook on the Deerfield page and was like, yo, I love the Deerfield EP. Can I put it on the Chillwavve channel? And I was like, yeah, sure, like that's totally fine. And we get talking, and I'm like, oh, I'm in another band, and he's like, oh, like what are you guys called? And I was like, oh, we're Closure. He's like, oh fuck, I knew you guys sounded similar, like why couldn't I put it together? And I was like, yeah, it's like the same people. And then I was like, yo, like I'm also moving to Alaska, or I was. And he was like, holy fuck, I also like that band. So I just thought it was like super, like it's just a super funny story, like how small like the DIY community is, that like this guy in like Texas had heard of 3 of my bands when I was half convinced that nobody had ever listened to them. It was funny.
Closure is opening for Mom Jeans, correct?
Yeah, we've actually, this is gonna be our first time opening for Mom Jeans. I've opened for Mom Jeans I think 3 times so far, and they've all been with Deerfield. Yeah, and then we've opened for Grad Life and Just Friends like a handful of times as well. Pretty much every time they roll through here, if they're on if they're coming through, they have a Syracuse date. Like, my band has played the show, and yeah, so that's the 31st of March, and it's their only date that's in New York, actually, for the entire tour.
Oh, so people are probably gonna come from the city and shit.
Yeah, I think it may be a little closer to go to like Erie, PA or something, or like I think there's an Erie, PA date, or maybe there might be a Jersey date where it might be a little closer for the city, but yeah, I'm expecting a lot of foot traffic. We actually had to upgrade the venue because we were talking, and my friend Pat, who helps run After Dark, we were talking, and he's like, do you think the venue we're going to be at right now is going to be too small? And I was like, I can't say anything for certain, but I saw them in Brooklyn and they sold out a 700 cap venue, and they have continually been doing that for a long time. So I was like, we should probably just upgrade the venue just in case. So now we're at like I think besides like an amphitheater, we're like the biggest space in Syracuse for the show.
Speaking from experience, don't go to Erie. Just don't. It is a wintry, snowy hellhole.
Erie is a
for,
terrible
like,
place.
6 months out of the year. And for the other 6 months, there's like heroin rampant in the streets.
Let me tell you something. The best band to ever come out of Erie, Pennsylvania, is fucking Brothers Keeper. Think about how bad that is.
Okay, 1 hour left, and we gotta get through news.
So before we go on to the news, I just wanted to say for the chillwave thing, we've also been working with some other bands for another split.
Oh,
So I just wanted to go. Yeah, we have kind of two splits that we've helped organize. So this other one is Ulcers from Denton, Texas. They've got a lot of the people from Goodwill. Super Destroyer.
Ulcers are actually really good friends of mine. Fisher, the bassist.
Yeah, I met Fisher this weekend. He's a super nice guy. I met all of them this weekend. They're all great. So it's Ulcers, Super Destroyer, and Rookie Card are working on a split too. So
What kind of music do they play?
So Rookie Card is a bunch of high schoolers from Billings, Montana that play like Twinkle Daddy kind of screamy emo music basically. Super Destroyer is the weird one because Super Destroyer is really prolific. He's released a lot of stuff. It ranges from like kind of post-hardcore to electronic to bedroom kind of stuff. But I've heard the songs he's worked on for this split, and they're sounding really good. So I'm pretty excited about this one too.
Those kids from, what is it, Rookie Card? They sound like Good Sleepy, but from like the West. Because Good Sleepy is like a bunch of, I'm almost certain they're in high school, and if they had been like 15 years older, like their band would be fucking huge. Like it would have been like a staple. Like I can't explain how Good Sleepy just sounds like you took like 2011 and just like ripped it out of fucking 2011.
Yeah, the Clock Shop sounds like it came out 9 years too late.
Yeah, it's super tight. I mean, I'm really excited to see what they do like down the road, but I love that there are still kids that like listen to the revival shit and are like, yes, and they continue to make it. They're super nice guys, so I'm actually really stoked to tour them, and I'm really excited for the split because I think that especially Nope and Good Sleepy are two like crazy up and comers, so I just feel like really like lucky and like, you know, kind of humbled that we're going to be on the same, you know, record as them. It's really cool.
News.
We're good? Okay. Let's start with the quick cuts then. Touche Amore and Pianos Become Teeth are doing a few 10-year anniversary shows together. That's the 10-year anniversary of the one that came out 10 years ago.
To the beat of a dead horse.
Touche is to the beat of a dead horse, and Pianos is Old Pride.
The Pianos Become Teeth thing is probably less of the draw, but it's more surprising because Kyle stopped screaming like 9 years ago, and they're playing their Screamo full length. So
I'm pretty excited for that. I just bought my ticket for it the other day.
Yeah, there's only like 3 dates, right? And they're all on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Kind of, yeah, bums me out that all these are, because Have Heart is playing 4 shows too, but it's all not anywhere near Texas.
Yep.
The Baltimore date is in like probably the smallest like real venue in Baltimore too. So like I'm super hyped for that because it's like I think it's like a probably 300 400 person venue, like
Christ.
absolutely maxed out. Like that is like the absolute max of it. I saw Jeff Rosenstock there, and it was like not even half as packed as I expect this show to be. It's going to be wild.
Yeah,
So they're definitely like going back to the roots.
I didn't even realize those were 10-year albums at this point, but I remember when both of those came out. So I've been in this shit for 10 years apparently.
Damn.
Yeah.
Street cred.
I've already seen Touche Amore like 27 times, so.
This is going to be my first time seeing both of them. So
Wow. Shit. Well, have fun. Touche are always amazing live.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Pianos Become the Teeth in a long time, but from what I hear, they're still a very good live band too.
Hell yeah.
I bet they will be. I finally got into the Lack Clung after.
That's on the 2011 Decade Under the Influence.
Oh
And
shit.
not
Yeah.
actually getting many
Along with-
votes.
Along with Parting the Sea.
Who's winning
Yeah.
so far? Leave it out, of course.
I think
I
like
love
my
Wildlife.
note is like kind of scaring people from voting. Okay, so to be, or I probably don't even to bleep this out, but like Tiger's Jaw, Two Worlds got so many fucking votes for 2010, and like I think that's objectively not a great album, but I think people are just voting because it's like, oh well, Tiger's Jaw.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It would have sucked to do a Tiger's Jaw episode
It really
on that
would
album.
have. Yeah. And same with Tiny Moving Parts moving to Antarctica. It got like 50 votes, and I was like, I doubt 50 people have actually listened to that album.
It's really good that didn't happen. That would have sucked.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Isn't that our next piece of news? Or like,
I mean,
No,
What?
that's like the very last thing we're supposed to talk about, I think.
okay.
I have something kind of related to Tiger's Jaw, so we can move on to the one that's right down the list. I think.
the important one.
Okay, two other quick hits that really don't have anything to do with anything, but Home Like No Place There turned 5 last week. That's
It's a good album.
It's an
Yeah,
incredible record. Just like all the way through, just listening
It's-
to it is like next level.
It's the best emo album of the 2010s, in my opinion.
So
They're really not doing any kind of like fanfare for it or anything either. Because I went to Philly for Tiger's Jaw, that like Otherly Love festival that they did. There was Tiger's Jaw, Jeff Rosenstock, Rainer
Oh,
Maria,
yeah.
Hotelier, and they came
Land
out
of
and
Talk.
did like the thing. Oh yeah, I actually missed them. I was late, but they came out and did like the thing from the Fest video where they were like, yeah, we put out an album called Home Like No Place There, and we're just gonna play as much of it as we can before they cut us off. So they played like the first half of it and then finished with a cover of Breathe by Faith Hill, and it was probably the best set I've ever seen.
What? That's nutty.
Christian does a great Faith Hill. Like, not even joking, it was an amazing cover. But yeah, they said it was the last time they'll play for a while,
Really?
Well, they're recording their new album, right?
Mhm.
supposedly.
I think Ellie, you don't like Goodness, right?
I think that is a bad record. Yeah.
Well, ignoring
More
that,
like Badness, am I right? Yeah.
Yo.
I mean, to me, Home Like No Place Is There and Goodness are two incredible albums, and it probably takes a lot of
Mhm.
work for them to make something that they feel like really follows up to that.
Yeah, it's gotta be hard. That's like the most stressful part I think about being a musician is like you put out a good record and then you're like, or what you think is a good record, and you're like, oh fuck, how do I follow this up? And it gets stressful fast, especially like, it's like how do I like what do I write about now? Like I thought I've talked about all I wanted to talk about, so that's
Well,
that's interesting.
You just got to keep writing about your drinking problem.
I was just gonna shout out. Christian did write about the album on the Facebook page, and I thought it was really touching.
Yeah.
So that
good.
was like the most that they touched the whole thing. So, Clarity also turned 20 years old last month, and it got a ton of write-ups. I really liked the Ian Cohen one, but yeah, a lot of people really said that as the album that got them into emo back in the day and shit. So
Yeah, definitely. Dude, a Sunday
good album.
is one of the best like songs like ever.
That is my favorite song on that album. Yeah,
Dude,
that's
it's so- have you
probably
heard-
my favorite.
Ellie, have you heard the acoustic version of that?
I have. It's
Oh,
excellent.
so good.
It's
Oh.
like I just think like Jim's voice on that is like beautiful.
It's
Like,
so good.
It's the best he's ever sounded.
Oh, it's incredible. Like that song, it's funny because I wouldn't have expected. I listened to Jimmy Eat World and didn't progress into emo from there. I kind of like took the whole like, you know, alt punk route, like MCR and all that kind of stuff. But A Sunday, like, and Clarity was one of the first records that I remember listening to in full, like being like 12 or 13 and thinking like, holy shit, this is incredible.
Yeah,
So,
and that's a record like you have to sit through and listen to in full, I think.
I think it's important to do that with all music, because, you know, you'll hear a lot of time, okay, what's the best emo song, or what's the best blank song, or, you know, what's your favorite song? And it's like, I don't know, like I just like to listen and sit down and listen to it the way that the artist intended. So I think it's important to do that.
The Ian Cohen one was the best because that's his favorite album of all time, and he's really good at what he does. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a good writer.
Yeah.
Talented individual.
Fantano.
Yeah, Fantano got to talk.
Time to move on to individuals who are not talented.
All right, so
I've said
Anthony
before, I think
Fantano,
Fantano's
the Needle
good.
Drop, does this thing occasionally where he asks people to submit music and he'll talk about it. I don't know how he chooses the ones he talks about, but Origami Angel was talked about on his last video, and he talked about one of the songs from Holy Split. Was it Origami Bagel? It was Origami Bagel.
Yep.
And
One of their best songs.
yeah, and he kept saying that it was shaky and a little messy, but it was pretty good. And he honestly talked about it for like extensively, and I don't think he made any points besides that he said it was sloppy.
That was so whack, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most whack review I've ever heard.
It makes zero sense because like Origami Angel is a very tight band.
Yeah, that's
know.
what confused me. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is uninspired, or like, oh, this sounds like other Midwest, or, you know, other emo. It was like the weirdest talking point, like that it was sloppy. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I have one thing to like that I really want to say about it, and it's don't fucking criticize a recording for being sloppy when you know goddamn well that it was done in a fucking basement.
Yeah.
Like with like minimal resources. Like I know Rylan and Pat like take their shit like really seriously with recording and all that, but like there's a point where you can't like spend that much money to get as many takes as you want. You can't spend that much money to like get everything like exactly perfect. Fuck Fantano for that. I know he's been in a shitty band that wasn't recorded well, so like come on.
I don't know. I just kind of agree with Ellie's point about. I feel like when he's calling it shaky, he doesn't really know what he's talking about because it is tight. There's some emo records where if you called them like really loose and shaky and messy, it would make sense. But that release is just not one of them.
Yeah, if he heard like For Cameron and was like, it's kind of shaky, I'd be like, okay, I understand. But like Origami Angel, in my opinion, is one of the tighter like adjacent bands that exist right now.
I mean, them and Kama Salad, I think, are like some of the tightest up and coming musicians. And Stars Hollow.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Stars Hollow are
God,
great.
Stars Hollow.
How often do you all talk about them? Because Stars Hollow, they're really cool people. Yeah, they put us as their. I would credit Stars Hollow to us like having if you consider us having any sort of success, it's probably due to Stars Hollow putting us as their artist pick on Spotify. I didn't know it was a thing, but it was really cool. Like I was on Reddit and somebody was like, drop your band, and there were like 100 comments, and I was like, fuck it, I might as well just throw out the Closure link, and Tyler I think responded to me and was like, hey, this is really, really good. I'm in a band called Stars Hollow. You know, why don't I'm gonna put this as an artist pick? And I was like, Tyler, we're friends on Facebook. I've talked to you like a lot. This is such a weird, funny coincidence. And it was cool.
I really appreciate that, as you know, coming from from somebody who uploaded your music and is putting out your tapes. Thanks.
I didn't even think about that. Like I say that as the Chillwave video has like it's closing on 2K views and like all the comments are great. Obviously, that like if I can never say it enough, Chillwave is definitely like the reason that. Well, it's the reason I'm here right now. So I'm very appreciative for the boss and you know everybody else, obviously.
You probably actually did get more exposure from Tyler, to be fair.
I honestly have no idea, but I'm digging the fact that people are enjoying it. So that's all I got.
Yeah, honestly, there's no wrong avenue when it comes to exposure. We're going to talk about this later, but like all those bands signing to Pure Noise and stuff that were CI bands, like
Yeah.
just how it works, you know.
Dude, I wanted to get signed to CI so bad. For the longest time, I kept trying, and I just could never get a response because all like, dude, like plain clothes, like pictures of Vernon, and nobody talks about how good Plain Clothes was. Like nobody understands how good that fucking band was. I feel like they could have done it, but you know.
It sounded like when we had Jake on that he's signing bands that are basically friends of friends. Like he's not listening to like submissions. He's listening to what his bands are listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
Sign a
what else?
Chatterbot.
Yes.
Dude, somebody hit them up because we're done.
You know
Um,
what else is underrated? Counterintuitive release. Who Loves You?
I don't think I've ever heard that band.
what's the album cover for that one?
There's two. There's one that's like kind of like a tangerine kind of thing with a lady in a dress and like some kind of berries on it. And I think the other one is just like a picture of some guy. Let me look. Yeah, it's a picture of two dudes standing on a mountain.
I'll have to check that out. I've never listened to that.
All right, so out of the quick hits into the real news with 40 minutes. Can we do it? Just Friends and Grad Life have both signed with Pure Noise in the past month. I think we saw it's coming. We talked about it with Elliot because there was some rumors of it and shit. I guess my like biggest question is like, what does this leave Counterintuitive with?
Mom jeans.
Mom jeans.
I mean, yeah, Mom
Retirement
Jeans.
party.
Retirement party. Wait, when did Retirement
No.
Party get signed to Counterintuitive?
They
It's
put
been on there.
yeah, they
Yeah.
Really?
put LP out on that. Yeah.
Wow, I
Mhm.
didn't even know that. That's bad.
It's been a minute.
Wow.
So I can get my facts straight. Who did Jail Socks sign to? No Sleep, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
be talking about
Right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Counterintuitive. Like, I think they're chilling. They have a lot of solid talent on that roster, and I think that.
But is anyone
I think they're chilling.
active? I mean, like I know,
Retirement Party.
yeah, and I
Is
know
Deepa
that they
Sweetly on Counterintuitive?
No, they aren't
No.
anyone. They put out
Yeah.
Walter Etc. 7-inch, but I think that was a re-release. I think they
No, I
reissued the
think that
Oso
was
Oso
new.
records.
That was
yeah,
new.
That was new. Okay, they repressed the Oso Oso records, which I mean, those are definitely like money makers and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
I'm not, but like it's just kind of like an awkward, inactive roster at this point.
Well,
It's still really cool to see people making moves, though.
Absolutely, and
I mean, if
Pure
anybody
Noise-
deserves it, it's those guys.
Also, let's be real. How much longer is Mom Jeans gonna be on CI? Like,
is
'cause
they
they're
weren't
bigger
supposed
than-
to. They
Huh?
were supposed to be on Side One Dummy, but Side One Dummy collapsed, so that's why they're
I mean,
back to Counterintuitive.
yeah, but like I refuse to believe that they are not like maybe looking at other options because
Well,
they are
they
more
for
successful
sure
than
are.
Just Friends and Grad Life.
I
Right.
can't.
I think-
I'm not gonna like speak for them or anything, but like just talking to them the past couple months, like I wouldn't be surprised if they never signed to anybody. They really like being a DIY band and hang out with them on their last tour. I went to the Brooklyn date, like I said earlier. They had that shit on lock. Joel is a fucking animal when it comes to like having shit organized and everything. Like they have everything so efficiently like done. Joel is a great like manager. They all know what they're doing in terms of like obviously musically, but just touring their veterans. And then now they have Ryan Ellery from Just Friends doing front of house for them. I think they have everything they need. Like they got
They have
I mean,
a front of house person for their tours.
Yeah. yeah,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
It's Ryan Ellery, the guitar player from Just Friends.
And their
um,
producer.
Yeah, and so if anybody would know how to, mix that live, it'd be Ryan. So
I want Natural Flavor to get signed to Pure Noise.
Same.
Yo, so
I sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say whatever Pure Noise is doing, they're just capturing what the youth is into. Like, and I think that's cool.
Yeah,
no one said
their
that-
roster is insane.
They
no
are
one said
very
anything
good at
bad
what they
about
do.
their like ethics or anything. I mean, personally, I think these bundles are absurd, and also
Yeah.
you can get a Pure Noise hockey jersey for $50.
I almost bought that today, not gonna lie. I love hockey jerseys.
You know what's really sick? The long sleeves for the Inclination bundle.
Oh my god. Yeah, those
Shit,
look
I
so
forgot they
fucking
put
sick.
that out. That
I
was literally
just-
today.
Just gonna wait a month because then I think they'll be like available like on their own rather than in a bundle.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait too. They're really.
Can I just call it and say that I think if Mom Jeans does sign to anyone, it's gonna be Triple Crown?
I was gonna say
I could-
polyvinyl.
No, not
No.
Polyvine.
I don't know.
I think
way.
triple. I don't know, dude.
It's
kinda hard to say.
Triple B.
Triple B. Ghostmane's on Triple B now.
That's
I
ridiculous.
saw that too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get too far off topic, Counterintuitive actually didn't lose a band with Grab Life because they were on Open Door before. They released
Yeah, they
Yeah,
weren't on
Grab Life
the.
through
They-
Open Door.
They were on
they-
Halloween before that too, right?
Yeah, but they put out the first
Yes.
one, right?
Yeah, they did put out, what was it, Intro to Rock and Roll.
We got 30
Alright.
minutes left.
Yeah, we should move on to Nick Watch.
Nick
Okay.
Watch!
All right, get ready to bleep me.
Oh,
Alright.
motherfucker.
So this is a two-part Nick Watch season 2 episode. Season. This is part 2 of season 2.
Is this the
Mhm.
season
I
premiere?
think so.
I feel like this is the season premiere. I think the last Nick Watch was
Okay,
like
fine.
a
This is season
teaser.
3. We're in season 3. All right, whatever. Nick Cafferty, the villain of the E-Word podcast, he accused Wiccaphase of plagiarism for whatever guitar riff was in Rest. He thought that sounded like a song that he wrote, which actually just sounds like a Front Bottom song, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like he.
You can
like,
say
Nick,
that about literally any McCafferty song.
Well,
which
Nick is
great.
like
No,
it's-
they got fake metal for a while.
Nick is like how do you think you own like E
A
and
two-chord
like an F
progression.
sharp? It's like
Yeah.
literally like it's like 2 on the E string and open on the A. Like it's something ridiculous. It's like an F sharp and an A. It's like you weren't the first person to come up with that. You're not the last, and also that's a Front Bottom song. Isn't
Yeah.
that like I think that's Maps by the Front Bottoms, like do like that's Maps.
Yes.
right?
Maps by the
it's-
front bottoms. Let me listen to this.
Or is it Swimming Pool?
It's swimming pool.
Yes.
It's
yes.
definitely swimming pool.
Either way,
Um,
Wickaphase's management was like, Adam's literally never heard of you.
That was
that's
like the
funniest
best
part.
reply. It was like,
Yeah.
we assure you, we've never heard your song before.
It's 2-finger power chords. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I don't see. First of all, sampling exists, and McCafferty doesn't have money to sue anybody. So like, who cares?
I
And
listened to both, and it didn't sound. They don't really. The first like maybe 3 seconds
Was
sound similar,
is
but
it-
that's it.
Is it Dead
Yeah.
Bird? Is that the song?
It was Rest.
I think it's.
Or
I
no,
thought it was
Rest
Dead
the
Bird.
album.
I think it's Dead Bird.
No, Dead
Dead-
Bird
Dead
is
Bird
the
by
McCafferty song that
I
is
thought it was
allegedly.
Alligator Skin Boots.
No.
I've never listened to McCafferty. I listened to that one song that he accused of, being plagiarized.
Beach Boy is a pretty good album.
I don't want to listen to it.
Bleep that.
You should.
Bleep that.
I don't want to listen to it. I can't.
You
It's
should.
just such a the whole McCafferty thing is so problematic. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I really like Beach Boy. He's a huge asshole, so I just don't listen to it anymore. Honestly, if he cared about his music at all, he just stopped talking.
The only reason McCafferty was popular in the first place was because the Front Bottoms were bad whenever McCafferty got popular. Like, McCafferty got big because the Front Bottoms changed their sound, and
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, this kind of sounds like the Front Bottoms. This'll do." Like, that was the band. Is this'll do?
Yeah, when they got signed to when TFB got signed to Fueled by Ramen, that it was like hey, like you liked the Front Bottoms, now there's this band, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
My kind
Well-
of thing when it comes to those two is just they're both motorcycle industry ripoffs.
I was about to say that.
Dude, there's a song. Okay, if we want to talk about plagiarism, this is funny. I forgot what the song is called. It's by some shit. What's the band called? Something like Bicycle something. It literally is a Front Bottom song, and the lyrics are the same too. Shit, I'm gonna have to hit the group chat with the
You know what?
Is
You know
it-
what song's a ripoff?
what?
So that American Spirit song.
Americans, wait, what are you doing? We can't talk about hardcore anymore on this pod.
Somebody said the Closure song on the chillwave thing. They're like, this is a Maxiel song, and I was like, thanks, I guess. I like
I think that
Maxiel.
is a compliment.
Like I like Maxiel.
That's
So-
great.
So part 2 of this Nick Watch is the fact that, well, I guess last time we talked about Nick Watch, he was like, we're putting out a new album. It's not going to be under McCafferty or something, and you're not allowed to talk about it. And then they announced that they have a new album coming out soon. So,
Fucking
But
snooze.
it's just the other 2 people that were in his band have their own thing now.
One of them is recording with him, I think.
Oh,
But
really?
the other one's not.
It's the
The
Oh,
drummer,
yeah.
I think, is like recording with him, and his wife, who, God bless her soul.
Could you imagine waking up every day next to Nick?
and, do you think they have a
Just imagine.
do you think they have a twin size
Sorry, go
mattress?
Oh my god.
Fuck you, Kyle.
That was really good, Kyle. I'm upset.
Got him.
I mean, that's probably all they can afford. They probably had to pay back the record company after they quit last time.
How hard is it just to finish the tour? I don't understand, dude. Like,
Wasn't that the Moose Blood tour too? That whole tour was just cursed.
Cursed.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Moose Blood and a McCafferty tour.
Yikes.
They
That's
did
just
a
brutal.
That just
they
is
did a
brutal.
they did a co-headline tour with Remo Drive, and it sold out most places.
I remember that. I think that had to be more off of like Remo than McCafferty, though.
when
Emo-
man, like when Greatest Hits came out, I've never seen a band blow up faster. I don't think.
And
Like,
now
I
I
feel
feel
like
like no one
Remo Drive-
talks about them anymore.
Because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, because they haven't really
Yeah.
done much, and they kicked out their drummer, the guy, the person that started the band with, I think, the front person's name is Eric or something. I don't know. Don't quote me, but
Eric
they
from
kicked they kicked him out.
yeah
Oh yeah,
And,
there was
and
like
now-
a contract thing.
And now
Yeah.
their new drummer is Sam
from
Beck.
Yeah.
from
That which
a
must not be named.
Sam
Yeah.
from Bleep. Yeah.
yeah.
So, isn't he in a different band too now?
Sam. Yeah, it was on. I have
He
to
was
believe in
in
here, but I
Stippling.
thought it was.
He has a
Wait, he's in Stippling?
He
Yes.
was for a little bit, but like
No,
Stippling doesn't
there's a
do
new
shows.
band.
Yeah, I don't mean to rush this, but we have 28 minutes left.
It's true.
Yeah.
God damn.
Okay.
Free throw?
Yeah. So there's a
It
new
was like an
free
episode
throw.
of 24.
I think we should operate on the timer like every time.
Agreed. So free throw, I have another full length coming out, and they've got 2 songs. I've only listened to the lead single, the one that they came out with the album release, and I mean, I think it's a hot take for this cast of people, but I like it a lot. I think it's way better. Okay.
I really like it.
Yeah,
It's a lot better than
I
Bare Your Mind,
think
yeah.
Bare Your Mind is bad.
Here's my thing with that. Okay, the first single was really good. The second single was really weird because it didn't sound like a single. You know, it sounded like a song
Mhm.
that's better within the context of the album itself.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like track 8.
Yeah, it is track 8, I'm pretty sure. But no, I'm super hyped. Honestly, I saw this live video before the single came out of that song, and I was like, did this come on their EP or something before their first album? Like, where is this from? It sounds, I don't know, it's a really good step in the right direction. And I like Bare Your Mind, but I think Bare Your Mind's too poppy.
Yeah.
Bare Your Mind
Just-
is bad.
Just so we can do this justice, the album is called What Past is Prologue, and the lead single is The Corner's Dilemma. I thought, like, Bare Your Mind is what they're going to sound like for the rest of their career.
That would have been
That's not the
disappointing.
case. Yeah. New album's coming out on Triple Crown, and I think they're doing dates with, like, Seaway or something, so they're still stuck in that fucking world of pop punk. But I think Hard Attack Man's also on that tour. So let's talk about Hard Attack
is so
Man
fucking
now.
good.
So
Yeah,
Hard
yeah.
Attack Man.
Segue.
That's a good segue.
That's
Wait, what
Yeah.
about the Get Up Kids?
Let's just do this Hard Attack Man.
That was a
They
good
haven't-
segue. Let's not ruin it.
So Hard Attack Man have a new song. They've also just been everywhere because of their social media presence. First of all, Hard Attack Man, pop punk or emo, or are they just somewhere in between?
They're power pop.
Dude, they're
Emo
totally
Jace power pop.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
Ellie.
They're definitely power pop. They've got the kind of grungy, distorted bum bum kind of
Bum bum.
Yeah, they're
You know
also
what I'm talking about, though.
yeah, that like thudding, plodding riff that they like, that riffing style that they just like start every song by like repeating a fucking riff and like driving it into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say this as someone who really likes Heart Attack Man, by the way. I think maybe Manson Family wasn't that great of a record, but their split with McCafe T was
It's true.
yeah, their
It's
songs on that
good.
was
It's really
so
good.
good. And the new singles are very fucking good, especially Boring. I'm a really big fan of the lyrics on
Yeah,
that.
I listened to that today, and I actually enjoyed it.
And I'll support anything Eric does because he's a hardcore kid. He used to be in Ages, who were a really good band, and he used to post on the B9 a lot, on the Bridge 9 board. Like, he's just always had like a really fucking weird sense of humor, and I think that's why his social media presence is so good. Like, I think people are just now catching up to like his like really absurdist style of humor. Like on the B9, he used to have this bit where he would like pretend like the O key on his keyboard was broken, and so every of his posts was just like every time he used the letter O, it was capitalized.
Dude, like
That's
really,
funny.
if Heart Attack Man like weren't funny but were like posting as much in the content that they do, I would hate them. I would never listen to them, but they're like actually funny. Like
Yeah,
They are really but Beanie thing was fucking just legendary.
It's the next fucking level, but I think that I think if they kept doing stuff like that, it would be a little much. I'm glad
Yeah.
they like stick to like real like completely deadpan shit posting, like
So-
deadpan as fuck.
Eric is in
Beanie
Dark
was a good
Spring.
outlier.
My favorite thing Heart Attack Man ever did, social media wise, was they posted in like mid 2016. Oh shit, we lost our first full length in the park, and then just didn't release it for like 8 months.
That's genius.
Shout out Heart Attack Man. Fake Blood is a really good single. I'm super excited
Yep.
for that album.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
ditto.
Heart Attack Man, new album's coming out on Triple Crown on April 20th, and it. Why can't someone tell me what the fuck it's called? That's
Fake
called
Blood.
Fake Blood. Okay, Fake Blood.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I thought that was just a single.
Me
No,
too.
it's a the single is a self-titled.
Cool.
Word. All right, moving on.
20 minutes, y'all.
Okay,
Get Up
do it.
This is
Kids.
stressing me out.
Get Up Kids
Get
have a
Up
new
Kids.
song and a new single. Get Up Kids are
Oh.
now signed to Polyvinyl Records. This follows up that fucking EP that they did that was pretty good. I did not like the song. I'll just start with that.
The single?
yeah, I wasn't a
Yeah,
big fan of the
Satellite.
single.
Satellite.
It was
the-
fine.
It was bad.
The beginning was really weird, and then the middle and end kind of brought it a little together, in my opinion.
And this
I mean, I'm
album's
just-
called Problems. Got it.
I'm just mostly familiar with 4 Minute Mile and Something to Write Home About, and that new single was just too much of a change in sound. I didn't really.
Well, I mean, On a Wire and Guilt Show are also like huge departures already. Like,
That's what I stopped.
Yeah.
Something to Write Home About is the last album of theirs that I've really listened to. So
yeah. Normally, like when I don't like something, I will call it like wretched and awful and dreadful and like all the adjectives. But I think I'm sticking with bad today. I think bad works. Like this new Get Up Kid single is bad, and I'm not looking forward to the album.
I liked Kicker
Damn.
quite a bit. Like I thought that was a
I did
really
not.
solid EP. Okay. Well, here's an example. A reunion album 10 years later or whatever, Braid, No Coast. So good. It's like they didn't it's like they came back with like
Of Vengeance.
a vengeance. They came out with like their blood boiling or something. This sounds like okay. I saw the Get Up Kids for the first time this summer. Matt had to take 5 minutes because he was having problems with his diabetes. That's basically what is happening with the Get Up Kids.
it just seems like old people music now. Like I think when they came out with their EP, they're also selling like a Get Up Kids coffee blend and coffee mug.
Holy shit.
I mean,
I
dude,
mean,
are we surprised though? Their first record came out in 1997. Like these,
Yeah, the
like
the
they
Get Up
seem
Kids are
old
dad
because
rock
they're
now.
fucking old. Like like these guys are definitely older.
The Wonder Years also did a coffee table book, so like I don't know.
The Wonder
I like
Years are
weird
also
merch.
old now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I like weird merch. even if it is dad merch.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna buy a coffee blend from a emo band.
I'm
They
gonna
have
buy
socks.
a pup raft though.
Are you actually?
No,
Okay.
the
It's sold
unfortunate
out.
fact about
Oh,
that
it's sold
is
out?
It's sold
That's
out
why you didn't
before
buy
I
it?
got paid.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So the Get Up Kids is for the old heads. Jail
Jail
Socks are for the kids, and they've signed with No Sleep Records.
Jail socks is
Jail
for the
socks.
children.
Jail Socks and Wu-Tang
So
for the kids.
what
I'm gonna
I've
be
heard
on.
behind the scenes is that No Sleep has some. I don't like. Do I use the word influencer? Someone that's like in the streets is working for No Sleep, and they're finding bands. That's what I've been told.
That's cool.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Since it's cool to see No Sleep like becoming relevant again.
Well, because
After-
it ended for a while, right?
Well,
Yeah, they were.
They were like owing
It was
everyone
like a
money.
shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They stopped
Mhm.
paying people, and how do you stop paying people when you have Wonder Years money?
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure we literally talked about this a year ago whenever I was on the podcast last. Like that was when they were running out of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had been out of money at that point, and now
Yeah.
that I think that they're accruing like more revenue, right? Because they did like was somewhere at the bottom on No Sleep.
The remaster?
The 10-year
I think
anniversary was, yeah.
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 Was it?
Yeah. I feel like that had to have boosted them to some degree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
Um,
that had to sell really well.
So they're signing a lot of like Midwest type of, not Midwest sounding, but like they got Hot Mulligan, they got Charmer, they got Forest Green. I think those are literally all Michigan bands. And then Jail Socks is from North Carolina, and I think this Unturned band's from Minnesota. I don't know. Like they're definitely going after like smaller bands, and I hope they're able to like at least grow them.
I hope they're able to pay people back.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
I just want to know how they convinced Hot Mulligan, because Hot Mulligan could have easily just went to Triple Crown, like easily, and no one
Yeah.
would have been surprised.
Yeah, I think that's.
I like Hot Mulligan.
Yeah, they're
I think
good.
it's
Yeah,
Hot
I think it's
Mulligan is
probably-
easy core.
I like
Is
Hot
it?
Mulligan.
Is that a joke?
No. They're
Hot
easy.
Mulligan is melodic hardcore.
Well,
Jesus Christ, Robert.
I think it's really like a philosophical shift with like No Sleep though, because I think they just went to like, okay, we can sign like 5 smaller bands and like just tour them all together and have like relatively low costs, you know?
yeah.
I
Like-
disagree. I think it's more that like back when the Wonder Years released the Upsides on No Sleep, that was like the hot sound of the underground, right? That was that kind of like DIY hardcore and emo inflected
But-
pop punk, and now it's the
But
other way
they
around.
were like eons ahead of where Jail Socks are right now.
That's
I mean,
what
Jail Socks has
confuses
2
me.
songs.
They
What's
have
that?
4 songs total.
4.
Yeah, but they had a viral cover of Title Fight on Twitter.
Yeah,
That's,
the
like,
shed
kind of
I don't
cover.
remember that.
Yeah.
Is that what got them signed?
I mean, no,
But
I
but
think their unreleased
that,
stuff
like,
got them signed.
went really,
That's what I'm
really
thinking.
far.
What Ben said. Their unreleased stuff is either like really fucking amazing, or we just don't know.
sorry,
Well,
what are we
that's-
talking about here? We talking about
Jail
Jail
Socks.
Socks.
Jail Socks. Okay,
Jail
still.
Socks.
I thought we were
They're-
talking about Hot Mulligan, and I was like, what?
I thought we were talking about Riley because
Riley's fucking sick.
Oh,
dude.
Riley's-
Riley's to Third Row, or they're at least getting pressed on Third Row, which is cool for them
Yeah.
because
Mhm. That is really cool for them.
kind of
Yeah.
sucks that their best song is a cover.
Yeah,
It's a
I was gonna
good
say,
cover.
I really like the Nevermind. I really
It's
like
a really
best-
good cover.
Look,
It's
their best
it's
song
100%
is
better than the original. Yeah.
their best song is
I
420.
agree. I don't
Okay.
agree with that. Their best song is Never Meant, and it's better than American Football. Take to the
15
bank.
minutes, and we're not going to talk about the Brave Little Abacus thing because it's literally just an Instagram post.
Yeah.
So, 15,
Oh,
14 minutes.
It's-
14 minutes.
Is 14
we are
minutes enough for this?
Oh,
It is gonna have to be. So, 2-3 weeks ago, amidst the thing of the Smith Street band cancellation, some user on Twitter with no information just posted their tweet that she was actually assaulted by a member of the Front Bottoms who's no longer in the Front Bottoms, and Dylan of Tiny Moving Parts. That was posted just with someone who had no followers or anything. I don't know how people found the tweet or anything, But it basically got posted to our email shortly after and just kind of sat. And Tiny Moving Parts responded, specifically Dylan, last Friday, not denying it at all. He basically said that this has happened, and I have gotten a mediator, and we talked about it, and therapy, and he's donating money from the upcoming tour to
Rain.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Rain, and there's one other one besides Rain. It starts with P.
I have the
Trevor
post.
Project?
Peace Over Violence, Rain, and the Joyful Heart Foundation.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I haven't looked into people discussing this since that.
There
I have a
hasn't.
really hard time reading those conversations. Like it just like gets to be too much for me sometimes.
That Facebook thread was atrocious. It was a mess.
Yeah, I don't look at that stuff. It's people are fucking dumb, but honestly, it seems because all that shit went down, and then it's just kind of like it seems like everyone's moved on in some way.
I have
Mhm.
two main thoughts.
Zero.
All right. One is that I don't know if there is a better response to this sort of thing than Dylan's. Like,
I agree.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
it was made by like a list of it was made by like lawyers and a PR team. Like he didn't write that.
sure, but the actions that are being taken.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like maybe like with all this shit happening, like those provided enough of like trial runs for people to figure out what the correct thing to do is. Two, I think it's real gross that what I have seen of this conversation, a lot of people are offering sympathy to Dylan when, like, I mean, you shouldn't get a fucking cookie for like doing the right thing here. One, and two, like, it seems like no one is like really giving a shit about the victim. Like, no one's talking about like how they might be feeling right now. It's all about like, oh, we hope Dylan is doing okay, and that just feels really gross to me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes from like a really selfish like standpoint. People are saying there's a couple of comments on the Reddit thread. It was like, man, I'm really bummed. I was going to see Tiny Moving Parts in like X city, and I'm really bummed that they're probably not going to go there. And it's like, shit, dude, like this is not about you. This is about the victim healing. And I just think if I had one main takeaway from it, it's that it's very important to listen to these victims, even if it's from an anonymous source, because when the accusation came out, people were saying, oh, it's just an anonymous Twitter account, there's no proof, this and that, whatever. And I'm like, who would just make that up? I just feel like the number of false accusations that occur are so minimal that it's not even worth talking about. If somebody comes forward and says that this happened to them, I would have to assume that it did. And I'm gonna assume that. And as soon as I heard that, I was bummed because I like that band. But at the same time, it's not about me. It's not about whether or not I like the band. It's about whether or not this person can like heal and continue to move forward with their life. And
So
I think Ellie's right. That's not happening.
So I've seen people say stuff about call out culture recently, and like this tweet is 100% a call out, and it's anonymous, and people are saying that's toxic. I mean, obviously, what Dylan did is beyond toxic, but like, this is shit that he didn't deny and that he did. So like, is the call out? I don't know what I'm getting at besides like saying like this is straight up a call out.
I think there's nothing wrong with being anonymous, though. Like, especially if you see
the anonymity was
how
the
this
safest.
works.
Anonymity was the safest route for this person to take easily.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at how many like dude bros in the comment section of all these threads are, like I have a feeling if the person didn't come out as anonymous or wasn't, came out as, their, whatever, that they would have gotten, harassed.
Well, you can look
attacked
back to Brand New for that. Like, Brand New, that victim got harassed constantly.
Yeah.
And I want to say that the fan bases were, while not as toxic for Tiny Moving Parts, it's a lot of dude bros and like the same type of people, I feel like.
Yeah.
So like I totally understand not wanting to put yourself out there like that.
No, the anonymity thing makes sense to me. And I think another thing people don't like, I don't know, talk about enough, it comes up a lot, is it's usually like, well, why did this person wait so long to say something? And I always think that shit's really sad because I think a lot of people who have that experience try not to talk about it. And when they do come out about it, it's usually at a point where they can literally like not bear being silent about what happened anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the Remo Drive one, which turned out to be,
Fakakta.
I forgot that happened.
that was like when they announced their EP and got signed, and
Yeah.
people
That's
were
that's
like,
that
all
that one
about,
actually
like,
seemed very strategic.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there seems.
and that one was like, wasn't that the one that ended up just being like a very toxic relationship?
Yeah.
Just
There's been a few of those.
mentally unwell person.
But that was like the Mississippi thing too, where I mean, I don't want this to sound bad at all, but it did seem like they just had a shitty relationship and that person was upset about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like 15 when it happened from the span of like them being 15 to 20. And I think it's safe to say that most people have had shitty relationships. Like, there was nothing about the kids. So Closure was supposed to play the Mississippi show. And as soon as I saw the accusation hit, I was like, okay, this show isn't happening. And I like forewarned everybody, like, this is going to be one of those things. But from reading the post, like I was looking at it and I couldn't really find anything like legitimately abusive out of that. Like, it was just a shitty relationship. At least that's what I thought.
So, Ellie, what do you think about Dylan's statement makes you feel like it's strong and impactful?
I mean, the fact that he didn't play the blame game. He just was like, yeah, I did it. And here are the steps that I have taken and will continue to take to remedy the situation.
Do you think this band needs to not go on tour?
That's tough.
He still has the platform.
That's tough. He still has the platform regardless of where the money's going.
It seems weird to me that the tour isn't canceled.
Right.
I feel like perhaps they're like in too deep, Like,
yeah, March 27th, 2 weeks, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, with commitments to like labels and whatnot, I think that they might have to do it.
yeah.
I don't know
That's
if
true.
they said they were donating all of the money.
Let me look at the post. So proceeds
say it
from
was Dylan's
upcoming
share.
tour. Also, they just said donating the proceeds from our upcoming tour.
Yeah, they never specifically mentioned how much or if it was going to be all of it or what.
What
Kyle,
happens?
that was a
merch.
big fucking question to ask with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, it's just really it's just shitty that this keeps happening to people. I feel hopefully the victim heals and I think it's a case by case basis. We have to kind of tackle this sort of stuff and we can't just say that oh, that band's canceled because of this, and we can't say, oh, this person's anonymous, so we can't listen to the accusation. You have to listen to the accusation, and it has to be you have to look at the story, see what happened, or try to get statements from everybody, and this is one of those ones where, like I said, I just think it's super important to listen to the victims, and like no one wanted to, because it's a shitty pill to swallow to realize that a band like Tiny Moving Parts that has inspired me, like, and countless other musicians, it's shitty to hear that, like, oh man, this person I thought was really nice, and that was the main talking point was, oh, Dylan is such a nice guy, I couldn't even imagine. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. If he was like really weird and creepy, like, he probably wouldn't have made it as far as he, nobody was like, oh man, I knew Jeffrey Dahmer was a fucking killer. Like, I knew that guy was like,
That's the whole point. That's Abuse 101, is people who commit these types of things are often likable or like really close friends. Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the things with how people react to it is I think the audience itself feels a lot of guilt for having enjoyed something so much, and they're looking for ways to try to get out of the guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. And Robert, I think it was you that made a good point on the we have like the obviously our group chat and whatnot, but everyone.
If you think that group chat's gonna exist after this episode, you're dead fucking wrong, buddy.
I'm so bummed. It was like my highlight of my day.
Aw, never mind. I feel bad for making that joke now.
Keeping it now. Keep the
Fucking cucked.
That's a title.
Fuck. But yeah, I just think that it sucks that everyone's like, oh, the timing sure seems weird, and it's like, well, Tiny Moving Parts is blowing up. They're signed to a major label. They're going on big tours. They're selling out. I think it's gotten to a point where this person probably can't enjoy the genre because all they hear is, that this person that did assault them is, so prominent in the scene. So.
And the victim also specifically said that it was in response to like the lukewarm reception to the Will Wagner allegations, which were against Georgia Mack from Camp Cope. Like, she confirmed that the emails and like all that stuff about Will Wagner were from her, and like the victim from the tiny moving parts scenario said that like the lukewarm reception to that was really like what brought her forward, which I completely believe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think in the end there's two real things that I take from it. One is that we're getting like dangerously close to there being a quote unquote like right way to handle this, and that can be a very good or a very bad thing.
Yeah, because you can just learn the right way.
Yeah.
Right. If like, there's a lot of people that are perfectly cool with Tiny Moving Parts touring again, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that aren't. But like, the fact that they didn't have to do like some kind of hiatus, they didn't have to do like some kind of like exile from the music scene. Like, I think that's something that can be very much abused in just about every scenario, especially if a band's big enough. And then my second takeaway is that people need to realize that there's always, well, I shouldn't say always one, but there's always a victim and there's always a perpetrator. And Dylan is not the victim in this scenario.
Yeah.
Dylan, by his own words, committed sexual assault.
Very well said.
I agree. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
On that note,
that was that shit.
Let's fumble the closing out.
All right. Like,
Fucking Charlie Brown field goal this thing.
Kyle,
Like-
just copy paste the shit from the beginning of the show to the end here.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, rate, and subscribe for more. Notification squad, you know what's up.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
Hit the bell on chillwavve.
Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. You'll get entered in for an Amazon gift card contest.
Please review us on iTunes. We need more of those.
For sure. Y'all have been sleeping on that shit.
I think
Wake
I have
up.
a review up.
And I literally have to leave right now.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
for the
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you
so
Chillwave.
much.
Tell
Yeah,
the boss
thank you,
man
Ellie.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We love all of
I'm
you.
gonna go eat pizza.
Thanks so much,
Yeah,
everybody.
me too. I'm about to eat deep dish pizza.
Deep,
Don't edit that out.
Yeah, that's a yikes for me there, bud.
deep dish.
Fuck all of y'all.
All right.
Bye.